So we've come to the end of my masterclass, and I hope one of you or most of you have picked up something that you could use when you go out there and make your films. I've said earlier that this is probably not the masterclass you expect it to be. I didn't give you practical advice. I didn't give you any insight on the industry that's waiting out there for you, any insight that's concrete or quantifiable even. But I look back at the last 10 years, back when I was not necessarily your age, but when I was in the same position as you are now, probably eager to make your first film, but not sure how. I wasn't sure how back then, and I was also afraid. So those things were those were the things that kept me back. Fear of not knowing and just basic fear of everything. There's no reason to fear now because in those 10 years the technology has advanced, the opportunities have expanded, the language has evolved. We are now at our disposal. We have now, as filmmakers, we now have at our disposal all the technology we could possibly want, all the opportunities we could possibly need. And there's a vast language of cinema that is for us to make our own. So what I'm trying to say is that make your film now and make as many of it as you possibly can. Don't wait for the big break. Don't wait for a studio to come knocking at your door. Figure out who you are as a person and who you are as a filmmaker. Figure out what you want to say. Find your voice and make your film. Pick up your phone, make your film. There's no stopping you anymore. There's no excuse anymore. And there was a time when people kept saying there were too many Filipino filmmakers already and we didn't need any more. When I went to Berlin this year to pitch my second feature, I saw how many films were being made all over the world at that particular moment in time. The surprising thing about it was that there was a place for each and every film. So it's not a case of having too many filmmakers. It's a case of having not enough. I made a disclaimer earlier that I didn't go to film school. I have never attended the script writing workshop, nor a filmmaking workshop. I learned how to make films by watching other people make films because I worked in advertising and I worked a lot in production. I say learned, implying that I already know how. I may not know how at this point, but that's essentially how I sort of found my footing as a filmmaker, by watching other people make them, by watching a lot of other films, and by having a certain amount of balls to call myself one. And which is not to say that film schools or workshops cannot teach you anything or you cannot benefit from them. You can. And if that's where you're inclined to go, go ahead. I'm encouraging you to enroll in film school, to attend as many workshops as you want, to actually apprentice if that's where you feel your calling is, to apprentice with the director if you know someone. Just go on set or be involved in, immerse yourself in a production situation, or be in a class where they teach you about cinema and about how to make films. But I came from a different discipline. I came from a do-it-yourself discipline. I came from a very punk discipline of making films, in which discipline may even be a misnomer because we were just making films on the fly when we felt like it, when making it without knowing how to, without knowing the rules. Very interesting results, and it's a very interesting way to work, and it's something that I carried over into what eventually became my career. So I'm hoping that I encourage at least a couple of you to not wait for your big break, or to not wait for some studio to come knocking at your door, or to not wait until you know how to operate the camera, or you know how to use an editing bay, to not wait until you get the script format right. If you have stories inside you that are bursting to come out, let them come out and shoot them. Shoot as many of them. Shoot many bad films. Eventually shoot many good films. But the point is to just go out there and shoot. So I hope that I leave you with that little bit of push, and know that 10 years ago I could have used this push myself. My name is Doro Dayaw. I'm the director of Violator, and this has been my masterclass.